Alchemist, I be mixing and cooking up. While they be sleeping, I'm over here tweaking. In the wee hours, you know what's up. Checking the data, making my notes. All this research I've been cooking up. I just be laughing just like a mad scientist. I'm in the lab, baby, pulling up. Peace, peace, family. How you all doing? I hope all is well with you. My name is Keisha. I am the owner of A Way of Life, and I am your astrology coach. Today, we're going to be talking about Mars entering Gemini on the 20th. Now, I know I'm going to go into like a whole bunch of different details about this transit, including the retrograde. I also have horoscopes that I've already written out. I have to put them in like a little post, but I'll post those tomorrow. As I'm recording this late on the 18th. So you'll have those, and then you can come over here and watch this if you so choose to. I highly advise people to do it. I'm gonna not go into the fear mongering thing like I normally do. I am going to say what I think I see and what could happen. But no bullshit, like on a real honest tip, like this transit is not a joke. This is nothing to be played with. This could be a very dangerous time, right? So I wouldn't take this information lightly. Like I had to think about it to myself, and I was like, oh my God, I need to go back to counseling because I might go back to prison. Like, this is not a game. I'm being triggered left and right. Things are coming up, but I also see the good parts too. So again, I'm not gonna do the fear mongering thing. If you know your life, you're less likely to experience this on the extent that it could be showing up in somebody's life, right? And that's just the bottom line. If you don't portray these kind of lower vibrational traits, it's less likely to show up in your life. You're more likely to see it on the world stage, in the news, and things of that nature. Which for sure, I've already been seeing stuff. So there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to be very interesting. Pray for me, y'all. Okay. Okay. So there's that. If there's anything that I say here today, out of all the things that I say, and I will be repeating this when I get further down here, but for my memory and something that's near and dear to my heart as a Gemini, I think sometimes we can get so caught up as astrologers in the astrology and not focus on just like the main point. And so I'm just going to say this. If there is nothing that I say here today that you remember this. Gemini rules the child who observes and absorbs everybody's energy around them. This is how we learn as Geminis, by being around other people, being very observant, knowing our surroundings, because we can't really speak. We can only see and hear, right? So we pick up and learn from these portals, right? And so at the very basic level of what's happening for here for us on a grand scale is we're learning how to be more observant. We're learning how to learn from our environment, how we can change to learn from our environment, and how we are affecting the people who are in our environment on a consistent basis. And that's through speech. So, like when we say things like, what did they used to say? Kids should be heard and not seen. I don't know if it's backwards, whichever way it is, though. Don't be that person, right? Be mindful of how you influence people in your environment as a collective. That's what we are really talking about here. Understanding that you learn subconsciously you pick up those cues. The other thing that I want to say is yeah, my thought just like this is it. It's already starting for me, you guys. I can't tell y'all how this is gonna go being a Gemini rule person. Pray for me, y'all. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But that was the main point, is to be mindful of your surroundings, how you are influenced people in your surroundings, and how you are influenced by people in your environment and surroundings. Okay. People, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell if you haven't already. It helps the channel grow. The more likes we have, the more the algorithm, whatever it does, it does. So help us help you. We give you information in return. Like the video, we do appreciate you in advance. All right, Mars will enter Gemini on the 20th. That's in 2 days, really one, until March 25th of 2023. That's a 7-month long transit. And it'll go, the reason it's going to be that long is because Mars usually is in a sign for 6 weeks, but because it's going to retrograde on October 30th to January 8th, it stays in the sign a little while longer. So Mars rules our will and how it's like it's like what motivates us to get up in the morning. It's our motivation and our will to take action towards something. And how it'll be expressed is in Gemini themes. Mars rules guns, weapons, violence, destruction, bruises, cuts, fire, aggression, war, soldiers, military, cuts, burns, bruises, the self, the body. I think that's going to be another really important part that I'll talk about more a little bit further down. The self, the body, how we build self-esteem, again, is the people that we learn from, our environment, who we observe, who we watch on a regular basis, the things that we do on a very everyday level. I cannot stress how much it's going to be like razor sharp with Mars. Like, oh shit, I've been watching this show for 6 months, realizing that the shit that I've been watching has been manifested in my life. Like that type of shit. Watch, because Mars is gonna fire up those synapses on both brains with Gemini. You get both sides of the brains here. You just wait, you're gonna be real smart for no reason. It's gonna be great and horrible at the same time. Oh my God, pray for me, you guys. Our parents will be very Gemini-esque. How we show up to people can be very Gemini-esque. So Gemini rules verbal, our communication, mentally, how we think, our thought processes, how we make decisions, vocation, entrepreneurship, self-made, social media, devices, ideas, writing, the hands, even our legs, walking, running, bicycles, cars, short distance travel, poetry, comedy, quotes, post-its. It's the small things, our everyday communication, like, hi, how are you? How's your day? Our very basic everyday communication, Gemini rules. And our very basic everyday conversations that we have with the people who are around us the most. Okay. This could also be us thinking about how to put ourselves first, like I said, because Mars rules the first house. Mars wants to initiate something. Mars goes after what he wants. That could be learning, because Gemini is about learning, information, hands-on training, because it rules vocation. Any kind of training program, shortcuts, short courses, certification programs, starting your own business, starting a social media page for the first time. Listen, I cannot stress how much this has to do with y'all's children. Be mindful, watchful of the children, what you're saying, what you're teaching them, what you're allowing them to say and teach. It's going to be, watch how blatantly obvious, like subconsciously we know as parents that we be like saying shit and the kids pick it up, because you'll see them or hear them say it to somebody else. But it's going to be like tenfold this time with Mars. Like, did you just say? Yes, that's what the baby said. The baby said that. Okay. It's gonna be like that. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna need a camera. So you say you have teeny boppers, but I don't know how old you want your children to be starting a social media page. I will not. No. Okay. I'm gonna do it. He can have a YouTube page. I've been saying I'm gonna set him up a YouTube page for eons, and I'm petrified. Okay, just extremely petrified. The idea scares the crap out of me. But some of you might have kids who are really old enough. They might even be doing this without you, right? This could be word games, board games, chess, crossword puzzles, anything that is like an intellectual sport. This could actually be debating, in conversation, about different topics and ideas. Board games, card games, chess. Yeah. I said crossword puzzles and stuff like that. Things like Wordle, especially if it's like online or on some kind of device. Anything that just solitaire. What's my whole life? Literally. um, you can even be doing these things a lot more with your children, or just in general. It really doesn't have to be about your children. Hell, as an adult, you can be going through your second childhood where you want to be 3 all over again. I'll pray for you. But it might be fun though. You might need that, right? This could also be the metaverse. We can hear a lot about the metaverse. Oh, I can only freaking imagine. Or we can just see a lot of updates on the metaverse on all the social media pages, to be quite frank. This is intelligence, text, chats, upgrading your apps and your website. No more paper. I did say that during the Great Conjunction. It hasn't happened yet, but we could hear talks of it, or whispers, or things happening behind the scenes, because Mars is an engineer. These are people who make things happen, who are good with their hands. They're setting up systems for these things. And I think I talked about this in other videos. You'll have to forgive me. My brain is not allowing me to think about what those videos were. But I've definitely spoken about on here before how this transit is going to be the catalyst to the Uranus moving into Gemini. I don't think it's next year. It might be the year after 2025. So I feel like whatever happens now, we'll see the outcome when Uranus meets Gemini. So maybe if we don't go paperless through on this transit, we most certainly absolutely will go paperless by the time Uranus hits Gemini. Yeah. And I think that goes for robots, any AI, metaverse, digital coin, money, whatever. I think all the back ends of those things are happening now during this transit. If we don't hear about them actually starting now, they'll come out when Uranus hits Gemini. Okay. Yes, automation tools, quicker automation tools, and robots. Mars wants to win, so this can be politics and votes. I don't know, do we vote around this time? I don't think it's until January, right? Definitely. Um, Maybe small time stuff we're voting for. I don't really pay attention to that stuff, but I can only imagine with what's going on with Trump right now. Oh my God. Like, and he's a Gemini. Just watch him. This entire fucking transit, him and Kanye, just wait for it. I can already see them coming down the chariot line with some fucking madness. Maybe Kanye will end up back in a fucking institution because I feel like I need to go to one. Not bullshitting, y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Who knows what's gonna happen? But anyway, this can be thinking on steroids, but just as easy you can forget too. So write things down, use voice notes, because your ideas are gonna be like engineering ideas. This is gonna be ideas of brilliance and intelligence. You don't want to miss these or forget them. The choices that you're gonna make could be changing or overwhelmed. You could be overwhelmed at this time, or that you're, making final decisions, cutting things off and finishing things for good with Mars, because Mars cuts things out. It destroys it to rebuild it up newer. Again, construction, engineering, those businesses could be in dire need for people right now. Those people could be motivated to work harder, do more with their ingenious ideas at this time. And short distance travel. I feel like I said that already, but it's possible that I didn't. This is also writing and teaching. If I didn't say that already, I might repeat myself a few times, but even writers and teachers will have more energy to tap into their craft at this time, because again, Mars is your motivation towards your passion and the things that you desire to do. So I was thinking about, if you've been following me on IG, I posted about the rappers and how this could be battle rap, hip hop, lyricism, because Gemini is Mercury ruled. And it's going to be Virgo season. And so I'm rooting for some great stuff, but Mercury's going to be in Libra during this time. In the beginning, in the first little bit, I think it's like 3 days. Mercury will still be in Virgo, right? This happens on the 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Okay, 5 days before Mercury moves into Libra. So I'm hoping that that's enough time, but I'm pretty sure that's also wishful thinking. Because I just want hip hop to come back so strong, but I didn't get my wish. Well, I think I did, because Styles P and them did the verses thing and just they killed it. But it wasn't anything new, so whatever. But but because Mercury's in Venus, this could be R&B coming back strong, or like love songs and things of that nature. Anything around love, partnerships, business, and even like fashion and decorating could be trending in some way, or somebody gets like somebody becomes trendy or trend something, some themes around that. Um, yeah. This could also be about gathering information before we make decisions. We can be curious about really any topic. Eager to learn new skills, engineering, I said that, and doing like DIY projects because it's your hands and vocation. Vocation typically comes with doing something with your hands or just being an engineer or good with your hands or some kind of construction. Seriously, those things are all very valid. This could also be sports. I said intellectual sports will definitely be highlighted at this time. Military leaders, surgery, and emergencies, because Mars rules those things by way of it being the ancient ruler of Scorpio. That's where we get the emergency piece from. But in the beginning, I said cuts, anything sharp. And so Mars rules surgery to the body because you got to cut to do surgery. We can hear a lot of things about doctors even getting hurt or injuring themselves in some way, just like a lot of emergency situations, especially when it comes to car wrecks and things of that nature. Surgeries and emergency. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I said technology devices, but we could be using technology and devices for school. I was thinking because this energy, and I'll be talking about this again further down, so I'm going to try not to repeat myself, but because this is such a big energy, and it's really taking over the new moon we got coming up in Virgo, by the way, which I'll be doing very shortly after this. So it's going to be a packed weekend of videos, but because this is going to be giving us more pieces to energy from 2020, which I'm going to go into, and the nodes that we had in Gemini and Sagittarius in 2021, the end of 2020 to 2021, I feel like we'll be revisiting that idea of children going to school, or can they do it on the devices now? You know, can they go to school from home now? It'd be very interesting to see how that plays out, or maybe there'll be some aspects to it, because I think I said this in other videos too, that we are worried about children having that social piece is just as important to their learning as the educational piece, right? And so I'm wondering if that topic will come up again with this Mars, because again, this is about passion and desire to get something on a device, school on device. So we'll see teaching from a device, studying from a device. So we'll see. And if this doesn't have to do with child age, you could be studying from a device. I know a lot of other courses and people who have like smaller businesses who teach and things of that nature all have their courses online. They're on Zoom now. You don't have to go, or it's like on Teachable, like my program to learn your purpose in life. Right? If you can put all that stuff on Teachable, I'm pretty sure that that's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be overloaded with information. I can only imagine. But yes, I can only imagine that there will be an array of things that you can learn on a device or from your device in some way. We could also be passionate about reading, connecting with schoolmates and teammates. This is definitely sports in some way. I know I mentioned it. But for kids, I just heard a story, by the way, about two coaches who got into it and one got shot. I'm pretty sure the other one is gonna do time now. So again, you know, Mars on the lower vibration, which I'm about to get into here in a minute, can be very violent. And so I can only imagine that arguments, fights, and any kind of violent things are going to come up in a big way with this, a big way, okay? And this could also be about protecting your assets, okay? Because Mars is about protection, and Gemini does rule trade. So people are going to become very passionate about protecting assets. And it doesn't have to be money. You know, an asset is that your child can be an asset. You know, it's anything to you that brings you value. So keep that in mind too. But I would assume that this is intellectual property. Oh God, I'm not ready. I don't want to hear about this, especially with everything going digital. If we're starting to have that conversation again, and we're talking about creative projects, and this is more Saturnized Cancer energy, but security and generational wealth and things of those natures. But by way of your children, this can be something like people's intellectual properties, or people fighting for the rights to protect their intellectual properties on any of their masters, to own their rights to things. I think I just heard, by the way, that Versus, this is going to be crazy how this is going to tie in. Versus hasn't paid people yet. And I don't know if it's all people or just the two people who are complaining, and you'll have to forgive me again. My brain is not allowing me to go backwards right now to think about who those two people were. But if you heard the story, or you can go Google it to see that the person they're supposed to be in the deal with hasn't paid them. This is intellectual property. So there's something could be going on. Well, I'm pretty sure. God, I hope it doesn't turn violent. Jesus Christ. But you know, it's a thing. We'll see how that grows. I'm pretty sure we'll be hearing a lot more about that. Okay. On a lower vibration of Mars and Gemini, again, this is car accidents, road rage, violent car theft, called car theft or vandalism, and murder by car. What is that? Vehicular homicide. Point blank period. Say whatever you want. Mars is on one, okay? With a car. Okay, so be careful what you say to people. This is not the time to be fucking around with people, okay? Not. Because everybody's gonna be on edge 2 times. Oh my God. I can't, I should not be laughing at this. Oh my God. I'm really not laughing. Honestly, I think this is very unstable energy. I think we are gonna bring out this like a fucking full moon for 7 months. That's how I really feel. Okay. Gymnastic accidents, injuries to your hands, because Gemini rules your hands. This could also be cuts, bruises, and burns. Okay, and it doesn't just have to be to your hands. It could be your legs or your car, your family members, in your neighborhood. Okay. This could be arguments with siblings, neighbors. aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews. Okay, all those are Gemini ruled things. Um, mm, and neighborhoods, your communities are gonna go fucking nuts with robberies, fires, people putting fires to the business in the communities, people's businesses going out of business. Actually, this is fucking crazy. I don't remember how long ago this happened. I want to say maybe about a month or two now. The car dealer, and I think I did mention this on a video that I did. The car dealer that was at the corner of my block, like maybe 2, 3 blocks down from me. There was a car dealer. It also did car washes and they fixed cars. No longer in business. I can see a lot of those kind of small places that you can go to buy a used car. Salesmen, all the Gemini ruled businesses have the potential to go out of business. Obviously, this isn't going to be everybody, but the people who it's relevant to, absolutely. This could be a lot of gang violence escalating. I know we had some problems over the summer, or was that like spring, winter? I feel like people were been going crazy, but I can't remember what started. But started, I think a rapper had died, and for a while there, they just wasn't. They stopped putting it on the news. But YouTube will show you. They be listening to everything you say. So every time I do videos like this, and I have my phone around, it shows up on my YouTube, right? And so I could see now. I don't believe everything that I see, but I know some of them because I remember the storylines that they had to do with continuation of violence after somebody had passed away. And I wish I could remember who that was, but I know it was this year. And we lost a lot of rappers this year. Over violence. I think that could escalate again, and we could be revisiting that for whatever reason, whether that's now it's jail time or the actual court case, because it's like proven until um innocent until proven guilty type stuff. I don't know how this fucked up system works, whatever. I made it up. But something could come up again with that on the world stage, but also just alone in your environment. Be careful for who you let into your house at this time. So when you listen to the horoscope, see if you have it in your fourth house. I think Pisces, y'all have this in your fourth house. So you want to make sure if you have any work done, because remember, Mars is construction, and digging and drains and pipes and all the things that come with whatever you dig up under the ground. So rusty pipes and things, if anything goes wrong, just be really super careful, especially for single moms out there, who you let in your house and who you let around your children. Okay. Crazy shit can happen. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but this shit can really come up. And you have to remember, we're still kind of like coming out of a pandemic. So if you had child molesters and people who had to lay low for a while because they were scared about catching something, well, we're getting a little bit more away from that now. So if they don't come out with another fucking, which I'll be talking about a little bit more down, but if they don't come out with another something to keep us scared or afraid or like whatever they do, just imagine people getting super comfortable with like, okay, it's normal now, we can go back out. And you know what I mean? So like the fear of that, or the worry for that, It's kind of gone. I'm not saying it's completely gone because that's not a real thing, but it's not as bad, right? So yeah. And then you also have to remember that we have the threat of the pandemic and a recession. People are broke, people don't have money. When you don't have security or these things, the gangs of gang violence rob to get what they need. This is like the people who took all the toilet paper when everything happened with the thing, instead of people thinking about thy neighbor. Irrelevant here. Mars is about the self, right? Very selfish. So just again, be mindful of your surroundings, who's around your children, who you keep around your children. Teach your children stranger danger. Make sure that they know that they can come to talk to you about anything. All that. This could be trading volatility. Again, Gemini rules the school system, so we can have more school shootings, or that topic will be revisited in some way, shape, or form at this time. Really want to think before you speak, because everybody's going to be crazy. So if you want to be on one, you just might meet your match at this time. Our communication style might be more argumentative, cursing, flipping, sarcastic, and sexual. If you're not somebody who typically swears all the time, watch your speech and see if you start swearing. Or if you're noticing that you are just like super angry out of nowhere for no reason, that's your indicator that you're being affected by Mars and Gemini. Okay. If you start to lose patience with people, like say what you got to say, like hurry up, get it out your fucking mouth. You are being affected by Mars and Gemini. And it could be a negative effect on you, or how people view you or see you doing these types of things. We can force our opinions on others, and this can divide the population by two. So breaking up the community, more division in the community due to our ideas and beliefs about specific things. Oh my God. Be careful of misusing details or overlooking things. I mean, this isn't really negative. I don't know why this is here, but Mars, Gemini also rules the feminine and the masculine energy. And so, this is also going to be the energy of the twin flame. I've talked about this when I did the Venus and Gemini video. This is gonna be a fucking twin flame frenzy tarot readings all over the place. Mark my words, if you are a habitual tarot reader, it's gonna be twin flame here, twin flame there, twin flame, twin flame, twin flame. It's gonna be everywhere. Because mostly in love, by way of Gemini, most people will say either they want more than one lover, or this is a decision between love, or you're mirroring, your soul is mirroring one another. So these are people who feel familiar to you, like family, a soul connection that you can meet at this time. That can be a really, really big thing. But ultimately, Gemini is also the story of Pollux, and I don't know why I always forget the second twin's name, but the two twins, the one who passes away, so he becomes immortal, but then the one that lives goes to Zeus and says, "Can you bring my brother back to life?" And he says no. But he gave his twin brother permission to go to the underworld to visit him. And so Gemini is also the representation of the messenger, somebody who can get messages from both worlds. So this is huge, huge, especially because it's Mars, the ancient ruler of Scorpio, which is the underworld. And I'm going to get into that in a minute here. And it's also huge because Scorpio is in the South Node. So this energy is going to be revisited in some way, shape, or form during eclipse season, which I'll go over at that time. Also, this is going to be huge because Mercury and Scorpio are not friends, and this transit is in the Scorpio Deacon family. If you have any enemies, they're not going to be shy about letting you know that at this time, especially if you're having this transit in the 6th or 7th house, because those are the houses of enemies. I think 12th house too. People are not going to be shy to let you know they don't fucking like you. So Libras, Virgos, Pisces, you got to watch your back. Know your surroundings. Even if you don't know, you finna find out. And the people in the signs who have this in the 7th house, 6th house, and 12th house, you really, really, really have to pay attention at this time, because this is going to be a transformation of something that's coming to an end, even though it might have to be in a very destructive, violent way. But it's definitely the ending of something. Enemies, okay, being misunderstood, not heard. I can go on and on and on, but I think you get the point. This could also be gossip, rumors, lies, scams, juggling a bunch of different information that can lead to being overwhelmed or burnout. This could be cutting out travel, maybe by way of your car not working anymore or having to get a new car. Because remember, Mars cuts things out. In fact, public transportation, because right now here where I'm at in Boston, the public transportation decided to go out. I want to say it was at the beginning of August, just before the kids got to go back to school. I think it's only one specific train line, but nonetheless, this is a thing. This could happen to you if you use public transportation, so be mindful of that. There could be some kind of destruction or construction to those things, even with traffic. Oh, I'm not ready. Roadblocks, from due to construction. There's a lot of that going on. I think I talked about this when I did the Saturn going retrograde too. And this is trine Saturn. I'll talk about that in a minute as well, but so yeah, this can also be the cause of road rage, because you might have somewhere to go. And now look at all the blockages already. That's to school. This could be what causes the difference of opinions when it comes to the people, because Gemini rules civilians. So I can definitely see some kind of political arguments between civilians and the lawmakers around why do we have to go to school anyways. This could be the start of the conversation where people get really super pissed about why, because we have this in our head now from 2020 that we can work from home because we all did it. Most of us, a good chunk of us, you have that ability. So why are we still getting up to go to work, especially with this being Mercury being in Virgo for the first couple of days, but this happening in Virgo season. This is our daily routine, our work, how we work, anything to do with work. So again, it's a short, real small hope, but one that I particularly, now I'll go out and protest for that shit, bitch. Fuck around if you want to. I'll be right up in them crowds like, no more. Oh my God, I can't stand myself, you guys. La, 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 la. Okay. Yeah, cut out to work. I put that too because of all the traffic and delays and whatever. And administrative tasks, automation, if you have a business, or hiring people, because that's that Virgo energy as well. Getting somebody to do those smaller technological things that you might need to run your business effectively, but you don't want the responsibility or it's weighing on you. You might need the help. Either way, it's that or to upscale your business. Wherever you're at with this process, it's a need, it's a necessity, or something that could most definitely come up at this time. This could be stress, sex ads, sexual enhancements, and sex scandals. I talked about Mars being in the Scorpio degree. This can bring in a whole darker energy, man. I mean, thank God it's not that long, but during Scorpio season, you can hang it up. I mean, the only good thing about that is going to be that Mars and Gemini is going to be in retrograde. So most likely everything that could have possibly happened or come up would have already happened. And we're just reevaluating what happened. But still, that energy alone just, it's not a good combination of shit. Okay. You'll definitely want to think back to March and April when Mercury was in Gemini. This was just before we had the pandemic. Now that wasn't, that was a 6-week transit, but nonetheless, if you find yourself intrigued to know, I certainly will be going back to listen to that video to see what was happening. That would be a really good thing for you to do at this time, because in that way you get to get a little bit ahead of the game and you don't have to play the guessing game to figure out what's going to happen. Something's going to click once you go back and do that. And then you can also go back to the Venus in Gemini transit that was that same year, but I think it was in March and April, or April and May. And Venus was an extended transit at that time. I remember because I was excited about it and nothing happened. Not, at least nothing about love, which was what I was like, yeah, no. I don't want to talk about it, okay? But especially with the transit to Neptune, which I'm going to talk about in a minute here, because Neptune's a higher octave of Venus. And even though on the lower vibration of Neptune, this is deception and people coming and telling you what you want to hear and gaslighting you, basically. You know, I was looking for the higher aspects of that, but it looks like luck was not on my side. So, but I'm really saying that because the same degree that we visited is going to be being revisited through this transit. So it's worth going back and taking a look to see what was going on for you. So the more information you can get on this, the less you stress. So boom, there you go, like that. I might do some posts about it too. This is also going to activate the conjunction to the North Node that we had at the beginning of August, that was giving us all the fucking grief and completely blocked out the best fucking Leo season that could have been, I mean, Leo season is just the best season, quite frankly, in my personal opinion, because they know how to have fun. And bitch, we all need a little fun, and we did not get that. Thank you, conjunction. But because of that, Mars was in Taurus at the time, but it was still connected to that energy. And we'll be revisiting, I think it's the degree that's what's connected. I don't know why I keep forgetting that. It's the degree. That's what we're repeating. So we'll be getting more pieces to what was going on with that as well. Or something can be ending around whatever came up for you with that. Good Lord, let that be what it is. This could also be attacks on personal data, emails, passwords, and breach of information, because these are all Gemini rule things. I talked about traffic, transportation. This could be recall on vehicles. I talked about local businesses, online businesses also follow under this as well. Going out of business, closing, shutting down. Cyberbullying, especially with the kids, again, because Gemini rules school age children. And I talked about like gangs and gang violence, right? Because Gemini rules the streets or your community. This could also be like an activist or a journalist who either gets brutally hurt, or they themselves, them as the activists and them as the journalists, becoming very violent about things that come up in the news, or, you know, somebody leaking information, okay? They can have a threat on their life for doing so. Whoop, 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 whoop. These are whistleblowers. I feel like these can be around the sex scandal cases. We can hear some stuff with R. Kelly singing like a canary, because it's talking, he's dealing with children. And so he can be telling some truths that get him killed. I mean, we could see it. We can see these things happening and come up at this time. Obviously, I'm not wishing that on nobody. But like, it's a thing. Okay. Okay. Now, some things you can do to deal with the stress that's coming from this transit is breath work, because Gemini is an air sign. This also rules the pulmonary system, which I'm going to talk more about very briefly. I'm not a doctor, so but this is about breathing. So doing any kind of breath work can be helpful to relieve stress. Excuse me, you guys. Or things around your nervous system, arthritis. You could even be coming to some realizations of your triggers, or what triggers your nervous system or your nerves in general. What the fuck gets on your nerves? Not really, I'm laughing, but it's a real thing. Oh my God. Because we could be very, very crazy at this time. And I will timestamp all of this stuff, because it's a lot, but then Mars goes retrograde in Gemini on October 20th, right? Or did I say 30th? This is important because, again, we had the Venus retrograde in 2020 at the same degree. Mercury retrograde in 2021, not even 2020, maybe 2021 was what I meant to say the first time, as well as the North Nodes in the same degree. So boom, there it is. That's what I was talking about earlier. This could be why we are so tired of thinking, overthinking, overanalyzing, and deciding on what to do next. This literally could be burnout. Mars is about taking action on what we want, what's calling to us, how we assert ourselves and go after what we want. So again, body consciousness and being mindful of the things that you put your energy into is going to be very important during the retrograde. I actually advise people not to push it because this can bring health issues too, or this could be stubbing your toe, your hand, or this is where the burns, cuts, bruises come in when it's retrograde. Even more, those negative things can happen. Those lower vibrations of Mars can happen because Mars is just like done. It's in retrograde. So it's like, nope, I am not moving forward. You cannot collect your $200. You cannot pass go. So if you can take a vacation at this time or do less at this time, do it. Work on everything that you feel like you did wrong. Even though this is not about being right or wrong, but again, you are going to be having some massive clarity because, again, Mars cuts out the bullshit, right? Remember, Mars is the ancient ruler to Scorpio. If you've ever heard me talk about Pluto and Scorpio, this is my bullshit meter, right? So you are going to see very sharply and clearly what's going on. And as you come to those realizations, you're going to have those aha moments where you're like, oh, now I know what I do. But write those things down as you go along so that you can work on them during the Mercury retrograde, ponder on them during the Mercury retrograde, learn about them during the Mercury retrograde, do more research on them during the Mercury retrograde. Or if you already have the skill, then you're teaching these things. You're showing people the way, giving them information so they have this so that they can do better and be better. Okay. I think I said that already. Gemini is about choices, having options. In the possibilities, it's also multitasking, both sides of the brain, the feminine and masculine energy, but without giving our power away. This is what I like about the Gemini energy, because they can see both sides, even though that's literally why they are called two-faced. And you know what? Have your opinion. In the real world, though, it's not being two-faced, it's being able to see both sides to make the right decision right in the middle. Or this could be even where you find yourself caught between two things and you are right in the middle and you have to tell a person one thing and tell the other person something else because that's their life and that's their life. It's not, there might not be a middle for them. They might have to figure those things out for their own, whether they want to come to a middle. These types of things, Geminis are really good at and are very well respected for people who understand that task and why that's important. This is negotiations, being able to talk people down, right? We're salespeople. We have all the information to help you make the decisions that you need to make. Obviously, on the lower vibration, a salesperson, car salesman, we're not, no. So it can be manipulated and misused for sure. But on the very high vibrational of this is somebody who's going to help you come to a conclusion to make a decision. Okay. Gemini. It's learning and understanding things, knowing our learning style. I can't stress how important that is. I'm an audio visual learner. Some people don't really need to go to school. They are not going to tell you this. This is why it's important for you to go search, all the Myers-Briggs tests and things that you do whenever you're like, obviously, it's not obvious. I don't think most people know why. What the heck is the name of that dating site? I think it's eHarmony. I think eHarmony, out of all the dating sites that I can think of right off the tippity top of my head, have the most testing. They ask you like 1,001 fucking questions. This is the theory that's built off of the Myers-Briggs questions to help you find your personality traits and stuff. That's all fucking astrology that they use to do that, by the way. And if more people use them, there's this one guy. Oh, I wish I could remember his name. Black dude. He was big in the news a while back, like maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. He's like the richest black man in the world. He paid some student loans off for some students. I know you guys know who I'm talking about. I wish I can remember his name because it's actually very freaking important. But the work that he does to get a job with him, he doesn't do interviews. He hires you by way of making you take one of those goddamn fucking tests. And what the test does is it tells you what you're good at. And that's what he'll hire you to do. Isn't that fucking crazy? And he like works with you. I gotta go do some more research on that dude because that would actually be a really good conversation to have. But anyway, yeah, that's a thing. So knowing your learning style is very, very important. You can go find those things on any one of these websites. Any one of them are valid. This could be fights on social media, fights on the news. I can only imagine those news broadcasters are off the fucking wall. Political fights, marketing and sales. Be careful for like being scammed and taken advantage of. This time might show you where you need to master something. I pretty much said that. And Mars will give you the push to do that during the retrograde. Your mind becomes really sexy at this time. This is a good time for exercising in general because that's something else that Mars rules. You might want to jog, run, or have sex, breath work, meditate, yoga. Because remember, on the higher vibration in the spiritual realm, Mars is Mr. Miyagi, somebody who can fight but doesn't need to actually hit you. So going back to knowing your surroundings, being cognizant of what's going on, what you take in on a regular basis, how you spend your time, and how are your movements. And this is like Tai Chi and karate and all those types of things here, okay? So keeping those things in mind as you're working through your frustration and your anger for anything that's coming up for you at this time. If you're building a website or making some changes to it, you might become more curious with listening or getting involved in the community. Very highly sexually charged here, especially with the Scorpio Deacon. This could be deeper need to connect on a deeper level and learn about intimacy. Really fucking dope, though. Really dope. Because this person doesn't need to have sex. Or this reminds me of Nichiyama. I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I can't find this man anyway. He is extremely hard to find. But Nichiyama is a sexual spiritual therapist. and he helps women release trauma, Scorpio energy, by way of sexual connection, but he never touches them. Or he might do like a massage or something like that. There's no sexual intercourse, so it's all off of intimacy, which I think we can learn a great deal from. It is a talent that has us all lost when it comes to relationships. Okay. Be careful for doing any strenuous stuff because you could pull a muscle. The best way to deal with this is talking to your friends, traveling, short distance specifically, but you know, it could be whatever. I think travel plans over the holidays are gonna be completely fucking bonkers with Mars and Gemini going retrograde, which again can lead to road rage and all those other things that I was talking about. So you really have to like woosah, okay? Woosah. This could bring the inflation and gas prices going up back, that whole storyline. I actually haven't heard much about it in a while, so I wonder if it's changed at all. But either way, this looks like it can, you know, get it all riled up again. You know, that's whatever. Oh my goodness. Um, this could be employee cutbacks. Just know that any plans that you make for the holiday, the holidays, you might want to be flexible and adaptable. Go with the changes to manage your frustration. We'll need to manage our desires, ego, and what we're attached to or how things should go, because this could 0 to 100. I'm telling you, you'd be messing with a whole normal fucking person at first, and then you get in a situation where they have no control and they fucking lose it, and you realize in that moment, like, oh shit, I think I'm dealing with an axe murderer. Run, okay? I'm being serious. I'm joking, but I'm being serious because we are, as a people, so we bottle up so much emotions. I promise you this shit is coming up at this time. And it's in Gemini. This is like the most everyday fucking personal sign there is. Gemini literally almost rules damn near everything. It's scary to think about the amount of fucking mental issues that you're gonna see from regular everyday people that you thought were fucking cool. Pray for me, y'all. Okay? That's all I'm gonna say. And yeah. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do things over. There's gonna be setbacks and delays so that we can review things. And I feel like the best that I can say is to just keep that in mind at this time and focus on it. Put that energy and frustration and anger into fixing the problem instead of, you know, the outburst, because it's really not going to do you any justice. And it can turn violent really quickly and out of nowhere, almost seemingly as if it took no effort, like somebody was just waiting for your ass to say the wrong thing. So just, you know, be careful, because yeah, this could lead to words we say in anger, try to bite your tongue or hold back unless it's higher consciousness. This can be a battle of concepts, ideas, things that have been said, things that you want to say. You can say these things to get a reaction. And again, body consciousness, not thinking things through, saying things that hurt someone's feelings, gossip without caring. If you hurt somebody's feelings, very flaky, like saying one thing to somebody else and another to another person. I really have a problem with that, but I can also see why people see it as flaky. But whatever. This could be micromanaging, people who don't speak out at this at normally, any kind of bottled up Gemini themes. You better freaking rest assured that that stuff is going to come up at this time. So people who don't normally speak out, all the quiet ones, I'm telling you, they're fucking crazy. And they're going to have a lot to say. So just, it's always the quiet ones, y'all. Okay, I promise you I'm almost done. I swear. I just have the Neptune square Mars. And I'm going to talk about the last time we had these Mars transits. I have quite a few that I want to talk about, but I'm only going to cover a few different themes in all of them. Then Mars trine Saturn. Okay. So the first time we had this transit was back in 1928. This was the first radio network. So broadcasting, public speaking, and things of that nature. Something about that could be changing. I think it's already digital, so maybe it's faster, more accessible. Something about devices that are going to grow. It doesn't have to be. This was also when the Great Depression started. Now, I've been told that we were going to be in a recession in the red, so there's not really good. So we can hear more talks about this coming up. And like I said, I feel like the talk about it so far has been, it kind of slowed down, but it could come back up at this time. And then in 1943, the mail expanded. I think it grew in the ways that we get mail or how often we got them. You can go Google this information. I was being so lazy. I didn't go into detail like I normally do. Because I still have the Virgo. I haven't made up my mind if I'm gonna do Virgo horoscopes, and then I have the Mercury and Libra video too. If you want more information on these years, so focus on the time zone from August 20th to March 25th. If you focus on those time frames when you're Googling this information, it'll give you like events that happen during that time. Wow, my brain is like, go to bed. Yeah, so mail and media became international at that time. Media meaning news, by the way. Okay, so how we get the news, it grew, and it was the first TV drama started. Wow. And the first sound and color movies started. Interesting. And then the next few times we had it was 1958, 1975, and then 1990, which was military action against Iraq. I cannot imagine that we don't have more talks about the war, especially because I told you about enemies, and I think in the United States chart, this is in one of the enemy's houses. So remember, Mercury and Scorpio, or Pluto, they are enemies in astrology. So this could expand, the war can expand to America and other places. Not that I'm wishing that, but I'm surprised honestly, that it hasn't happened already. And even that conversation, I feel like has been kind of obsolete. And I don't know, I haven't heard much about it, but, and then in 2007, Putin did something with the elections. You got to go look up that story. It's very interesting. So things around that can resurface. And then Iran bought more weapons. Mars rules weapons. I can only imagine this is going to be a weapons frenzy. with Gemini. They're probably gonna put more weapons on the street. I don't know what these fucking people do. So more things around, again, military, war, and weapons. And then the CIA destroyed interrogation tapes. So more things about that stupid sex scandal or any sex scandal. This could be with the redhead and the other Gemini. You know he's a Gemini. They were in the news for a little bit there, the two in the relationship. I can't, my brain is like, is it Johnny Depp? I'm pretty sure it's Johnny Depp. We can hear more stuff about that coming back up to resurface. Donald Trump and his handing out envelopes and stuff and pleading the fifth. I'm not speculating on that. I don't want to be a Gemini at this time. I don't know them. Car bombs in Algiers was another theme that came up in 2007. So again, I talked about this. This could be vandalism to cars being burnt. I mean, the whole works for insurance schemes and things. Oh my God, I can only imagine. And then a small town in Iraq was bombed. So again, we can see small neighborhoods blown up or people splitting and separating or moving further out because of violence, or anything that's, it's too noisy, the traffic, the street construction, like it could be anything. Maybe it's the homes or the pipes, or people just don't want to be in the city. I talked about this before too, that this could be a theme that grew over time. This could be something where this comes up a little bit more, where people are like, I just want to be in the suburbs, especially if we are having a recession and people want to plant more and grow more stuff and be like in a homey kind of type like place. The city typically wouldn't be a thought that comes with that ideology. It fits more for somebody who lives in the suburbs. So I can see that being a theme here. Our subscriptions are going to be a big thing too. I don't know why this is here, but I would definitely go back to all the Gemini themes again that I talked about for the North and for the eclipses when we had Gemini and Sagittarius. Because a lot of those themes are gonna be repeated, and we're getting more pieces to the story at this time. Okay, and then Neptune will square Mars. Now, because it's a square, it's automatically assumed to be the lower vibrations of Neptune energy and Gemini energy. So, this is fake news, gossip, scandals, finding out about some kind of deception between relatives, neighbors, civil unrest, problems between siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles. These things can escalate. So, really like be careful. Using information for aggression for your own selfish needs. So manipulating people with your words or to get your way. Be very careful for that. This is giving me very addictive behavior vibes. These people are good at getting you to feel sorry for them. You have to remember Neptune is like volunteering and giving, just very super sweet and naive, right? And so a Mercury, Mars, and Gemini is completely taking advantage of that to get what they want here. So, and you're going to be blindsided by it because Neptune's going to be like, oh, I feel bad. Maybe I can do something to help them. Maybe if I do help them, they'll become a better person, And all those things could be very true, but it's a square, so it's something like you're not seeing that they have ulterior motive, they have a different agenda. This is somebody who can sell candy to a child to get them in an ice cream truck. I'm not trying to be funny. I don't wish this on anybody, but this is a molester, somebody who is very good at telling you what you need to hear because they are tapped in to your vulnerability and they want to take whatever it is you have. Be careful for friends and people befriending you or your cousin, siblings, neighbors, because they think you have something and they want it. All that manipulation is a very real thing. This could just be for sex. It doesn't even have to be that deep. So we're talking about all the toxic, I feel like they really overuse that word. That's why I can't think of it. But whatever. My brain again is like boop, boop. It's like dying. It's like blinking red to get off. But what do they call those people? I'm not gonna try to think of the name, but you know what I mean. The toxic manipulative people. They are coming for your goodies. They want your cookie. All right. And then it's the health part of it because Neptune rules the 12th house, and this could also be health issues with the pulmonary system or inflation, so arthritis. I'm trying to think of what Mars is. No surgery during a retrograde, or really, I wouldn't trust it at any time because I'm so scary like that. But especially during a retrograde, and I think especially for Scorpios because of what house you guys have this in, which for some reason at the top of my head it's not registering, but I think it's either because you have it in the 8th house, which makes it more, you are the 8th house, which makes it more super dangerous, or the actual transit is happening in your 6th house, which is opposite Neptune. And then it's just like the 6th house, which is of health and all that other stuff. Get second opinions. And unless you absolutely have to get surgery during a retrograde, don't do it. Okay. I actually advise that for everybody, but specifically for Scorpios. All right. And so we can also hear more stuff about COVID because COVID was all about the breath, right? Because remember, that's when all that Gemini energy started, the North Node and blah, 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 blah. So, if it's not arthritis, then it's the nerves going back to something being triggered. So counseling, psychology, a metronome, something to help you focus, get grounded and focus. Yeah, I feel like there's so much more I can say about that, but just be mindful, sleep, get a lot of rest, and don't believe people right off the rip. Make them work for it. Interrogate them, question them, and it doesn't have to be in a nasty fresh way, but lightly say, well, right now is not the time, and if you can't wait until I get ready, then that's a no. But if you're willing to stick it out and we just see where things go, like that, okay? And then Mars trine Saturn, which is a positive energy, which I actually really liked to have that kind of support from Saturn. Because remember, Saturn's not a bullshit meter, but Saturn's going to show you where your faulty foundations are. So if you are being manipulated by a salesman or any of those things that I named with that Neptune square Mars, Saturn's going to come in and say, okay, how can I help you? How can I help you get more boundaries, get more structure, learn how to say no, stick up for yourself, you know, don't travel by yourself. Have a weapon on you for protection. You know, all those kind of sensory, um, kind of common sense types things. Get locks and, you know, all that. All right. So learn how to protect yourself. This could also be freedom of the people around any of these themes. Censorship. And again, it's going to reveal any lies or manipulation or deception that's being done for that time that we have this transit. Wow. So I know I talked a lot on this. I knew this video was going to be super, super long, but I feel like the more information we have, the more prepared we can be. So I'm hoping that you guys find this helpful. Again, I'll post the horoscopes tomorrow. And yeah, family, I hope you found this information helpful. Peace.